Joshua DeLaCruz would like to share his story with you. You will learn very quickly that Josh is an intelligent, charismatic young man. He is involved and an active member of the IC Catholic faith community. As you listen to his story, please remember, Josh is at IC because of his parents who made a tremendous sacrifice to send him here, and because of you. You have truly made a difference in his life and hundreds of lives of students who have walked the halls of IC. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you Senior Joshua DeLaCruz.
Good evening. First of all, I would like to thank everyone who came to this great occasion, the people who helped put this all together, administration, teachers, staff, and of course Ms. LeVar for the great introduction. Having the opportunity to speak to you all is an honor, and I am more than humbled to be a part of tonight's venue. So who am I? I'm a male who's about 5'6", weighs 140-ish pounds, has brown eyes and black hair. I come from a family of 4. I am Hispanic, with both my parents being Mexican. Those are the characteristics that define who I am today, and admittedly, those are the same characteristics that defined me going into my first day at IC Catholic Prep. I've not changed much in a physical sense, except maybe the stubble under my chin that Mr. Doyle tells me to shave once in a while. But in a mental and spiritual sense, IC has helped me grow tremendously over the past 4 years. If there's anything that you can take away from my speech tonight, it is to truly appreciate the IC community and all it does for the people that are a part of it. Because for me, IC has helped me accomplish one of my lifelong dreams. Ever since I was a young boy, my parents sat me down and they told me that if I didn't find a way to get a scholarship that covered most of the costs of my college education, then I would probably not be going to college at all. At first, that's a lot to take in. I mean, obviously, imagine an 8-year-old having to contemplate his future without any knowledge or guidance as to which to aspire towards. Knowing this reality was scary, to say the least. But it was a stepping stone to growing up, and even at a young age, I understood that. So soon after graduating grade school, the mindset of being involved in school and getting good grades to appease my parents turned into a more adult philosophy. Now I knew that what I decided to do with my time, both academically and extracurricularly, was my decision, not theirs. One of the fondest moments I have of IC actually comes from the first day I ever walked into the building. My parents and I had been looking for an alternative to the public school that I would be going to, but we did not follow the normal procedure of registration and shadowing and taking the placement tests. Instead, we showed up one summer afternoon and in a sense, simply asked if I could be enrolled. I can remember that all that went through my mind was, this isn't gonna work. We're just gonna get turned away. This is stupid, I thought to myself. But I couldn't have been more wrong. And as soon as we expressed interest, Ms. LeVar came out of her office and greeted us with the biggest smile. Turning red with embarrassment as my parents began bragging about my accolades and my skills, I cowered away in uneasiness. But I could see in Mrs. LeVar's eyes that even before she knew anything about me, she believed in me. Ever since that day, that memory has really stuck with me throughout the years. Because although it may look like I have my life set now with an incredible scholarship and a great opportunity ahead of me, I did not always believe in myself. I cannot tell you all how many times I thought I was going to fail and that I wasn't even good enough to achieve my own dreams. When I would stay up till 4 in the morning my junior year of high school, studying for 3 tests, finishing a lab in physics, and on top of that, annotating notes for Mrs. Thomas's Huckleberry and Finn quiz, hope was at an all-time low. I mean, I would just sit there and think to myself, is this all even worth it? Even if I get an A, does it really matter? Who's watching? Who cares? I felt alone. Yet when I doubted myself like that, the next morning I always remembered that IC is not cutthroat like that the students don't compete against one another, that they help one another, and that teachers really do notice effort when a student puts it forward. On top of that, I always knew that my principal, someone who I admired and respected, did believe in me, and if she did, then I should too. Deciding to take things into my own hand and boost my confidence, I began to get involved in many school activities my sophomore year. I started to join extracurriculars like the soccer team, the newspaper club, and the math team, just to name a few. This cycle of participation and service soon continued and even increased alongside the workload and the courses that I took at IC. The more I found myself getting involved with school activities, the more interconnected I felt with my community, the closer I was to discovering my self-identity, and the more driven I was to improve myself as a student of academic vitality. By the time I was a junior, I could tell that my hard work was beginning to pay off, and that others in my class viewed me as a leader for the work that I had done thus far. More people began interacting with me, more people asked for my help with schoolwork and with extracurriculars, and to my surprise, I was voted to positions of power in many of the leadership positions of the extracurriculars I participated in. Today, I'm a member of the Student Council, Secretary of NHS, Treasurer of the Italian Club, an editor of the newspaper, and I was a captain on my soccer team as well. The newfound respect and admiration that I felt by and for my peers, being in a position of power, really pushed a sense of social responsibility that I had towards them, and especially towards the underclassmen as well. As cliche as it may sound, I finally felt like the Christian servant that our theology teachers had instructed us about the past 3 years. I could not have felt more content in my life. I began taking community service as a true act of faith. In particular, I found Special Olympics to be an especially rewarding act of service. Not only was I helping disabled individuals participate in their passion, but like them, I too shared a passion in the sport they played. At the Special Olympics for soccer, I had a great time keeping score and watching the teams go at one another with such enthusiasm and intensity. My plan is to continue to volunteer at this organization and help out at these events as much as possible. One of the most enduring changes that IC has really brought upon me is the growth that I've had in my spiritual life. Before I came to IC, I was religious. I believed in God, I prayed, and I tried to have a relationship with Him. Now, waking up Sunday mornings and going to Mass, that was a whole nother challenge in and of itself. Mass simply felt distant, as if I was only going through the motions. It wasn't until I began to take theology classes and attend Mass as a high school community and participate in the spiritual retreats here at IC that I saw the true value in having a spiritual life. Every year since then, I have felt my relationship grow closer with God, and because of the better understanding I have for Him, and the work that I have seen Him do in the lives of many around our community, including mentors, leaders, and friends of IC. Now, I would be remiss if I did not thank some of the special people that have made a difference in my life and that I would like to acknowledge tonight. First and foremost, my parents. There are not enough words to express the level of gratitude, respect, and love that I have for both of them. Everything that I am now and everything I will ever be is because they have given me the tools to reach for the stars and have guided me on the right track of life my entire existence. My mother in particular has truly been the rock that has kept me going when things got tough and that I wanted to quit striving for excellence. She's always been there to relieve the stress and put things into perspective. Other than my parents, however, some of the teachers that really touched my heart, whether that was because of their level of knowledge for the subject, excitement for teaching, or the relationships they had with their students, are Mrs. Thomas, Mrs. Fenton, Mrs. Ida Speck, Mrs. Sebastian, and Mrs. Field. Another group of people that I have to thank tonight is the administration. As a student, it is sometimes hard to appreciate everything that administration does for us. But as I've grown older, I see the amount of work and effort that is needed to coordinate things such as school assemblies, dances, and all the behind the scenes kind of stuff that I'm not even aware of. All in all, IC has truly been a blessing to me and my family. There's not a moment that goes by where I'm not grateful for the people that made me who I am today. Because of IC, I can say that I'm going to Dartmouth on a full scholarship. Thank you. So I'll be going to Dartmouth on a full scholarship to study biomedical engineering. Because of IC, I can also say that I've grown closer to God. I can say that I've made friendships that will last a lifetime. And I can say that I'm prepared to make a difference in the lives of others after I graduate. While I might still be a 5'6" male with brown eyes and black hair when I graduate, there are aspects of me that will never be the same. And I owe it all to the people in this room. As a result, I feel that IC has prepared me to be the truest form of myself that I can be. It has offered me a Catholic education that has developed me academically, socially, and spiritually. Truly, an education that develops a person's whole self. Thank you.